Hello, I admire you veterans. My name is Kurt Brown, St. Rambone. I have a website titled Mobile Audit Club. I am a veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces. I'm listed as a disabled veteran. I was formerly a federal bank examiner of the United States. I encourage you to tell all veterans not to work in the financial regulatory sector of the United States government. I went to work for the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation as a bank examiner. A regional director had been killed in his office and labeled suicide. When I went to work there, I saw money laundering and murder. Or actually, I saw money laundering, and an attempt was made on my life after I reported it. The regional director was murdered. He was not suicide as the regime claims. This is a technological war. Standing there with your arms like you're going to shoot somebody is not going to do anything. What can be done? I think the veterans who have had it with this issue of the international regime ruling us in their international money, we should applaud all attacks against the regime, all attacks against their highest bureaucrats, all attacks against those political officials. We should form our own parties, our own political party, and if necessary, stage a hostile military coup with the technological warfare. I was forcibly injected and tortured at the hands of the federal government in 2001. What they did to me, I do not know. I had some memory loss. I had investigated the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation in California after I left. I'd investigated their replacement, and I was watching what was going on. I'm certain that money laundering and murder is occurring. I believe we're in a technological war. The regime in power is no ally to our people. We are the common of the United States. When I say our people, I'm talking about the humane human beings. Those people do not care about us. The ruling regime does not. They do not care about the people overseas. I'd very much admire you people standing up. I saw that woman being arrested. Had I had a sniper standing next to me at 2,000 yards, I would have asked him in his heart, did he feel right in blowing that cop's head off? But you know what? In a way he'd be wrong, but in a way he's right. Only way he could have done that would have been if he could have freed that woman and then gone and gotten that man's boss 3 times up. Everything is 3 degrees separation in criminal conduct. You must remember that. Just because someone is doing something, that doesn't mean that's the brains behind that. It will happen again. You have to go 3 steps up. The multi-billionaires, they do not care for us. They control the mass media. They control the FCC. They do not talk about the forced injections and torture that I went through. I'm requesting $911 million. I would put the money into a trust fund. I want this in reparations for the Holocaust-style torture that I endured. I will give this painting to whoever wants it on that. Once that $911 million hits the accounts, I would set up a trust fund for those Americans who want education and housing. The regime in power does not care for us. It is obvious. They are our worst enemies. The question you got to ask, what are they? This is a technological war. You cannot believe your eyes. Technology can delude you. I have studied this in detail since working at the FDIC. I noticed something very weird there. I say the people there at the FDIC, many of them were good people. Many of them weren't. I say some of them were like clumps of shit that I do not mind seeing flushed into infinity. I admire you people, but standing up there like G.I. Joe doesn't do any good. It's going to take full military technological action to regain this nation. I want $911 million in reparations. I want that regime destroyed, and I want their government buildings removed. They injected me, they tortured me, they injected other veterans, and they did force experiments on them. They did force procedures on me. Like I said, I had memory loss after the investigations, after they tortured me. They forced me to sign documents, and since that time, a Sheriff Jack Tillman, who took my gun permit, has been terminated. He was starving inmates in Mobile, Alabama. They did not take that into account. What I was arrested for was gun ownership. I had no response from the federal government. They gave me $1 million bail. They forcibly injected me. They made me extremely sick, and I was forced to sign documents. I was held in exile for 3 years. I would like to see someone inject the senators who approve of this war with needles, even if at a distance. I do not care how it is done. Let us applaud the overthrow of the regime. If we see their heads roll in the street, let's pass around the macaroni. Never again serve the regime. $911 million of world war with this regime.